Kreia exists entirely in legends. As a Jedi, Kreia was both a consular and a historian, and she wanted to be able to discover mysteries of the galaxy using meditation only. And that, believe it or not, actually caused their eyesight to waste away. Kreia taught a lot of Jedi, but one of them would go on to become the famous Revan. Years later, we arrive at the Mandalorian Wars, where Revan had approached Kreia on the Jedi Council's lack of acting against the Mandalorians. She advised caution because she believed that the true threat had not yet revealed themselves. This led Revan to defy the Council along with many rogue Jedi to fight in the war. After the war and Revan and Malak's return from the unknown regions of space, they fell to the dark side and donned Darth to their names. Kreia believed that Revan never really fell to the dark side, and that he began a Jedi civil war to prevent a much bigger threat. After a while, the Jedi Council started to see a pattern with Kreia's teachings, and of how the majority of her students left the Order to fight in the Mandalorian Wars and then fell to the dark side. The Jedi Atrus then made a case to have her exiled. When she was exiled, rumours started to circulate as to where Kreia went. Some believe that she went to go and join Revan in fighting the Jedi, but in truth, she questioned her beliefs. She then started to retrace Revan's steps to discover why or how he fell to the dark side, or at least why he was fighting the Jedi. She was then guided to the Sith world Malachor 5, and on the surface she located the Traya Academy. Revan was using this place as a stronghold. Kreia then came across some Sith assassins that Revan left there. Expecting an attack, she instead was given Sith texts, and after reading and delving deeper and deeper into the Sith secrets, she ultimately fell to the dark side, donning the name Darth Traya. Traya then essentially reopened Traya's Academy and began teaching and converting people to the dark side, amongst whom were Darth Sion and Darth Nihilus. After some time, the Lord of Pain and the Lord of Hunger both thought that Traya's teachings would weaken the Sith, so instead the two stripped her of the Force and cast her out. Kreia just can't seem to catch a break. She was exiled by both the Jedi and Sith, and ironically, Darth Traya is the Lord of Betrayal, and she was betrayed by her two pupils. Sometime into Kreia's second exile, Sion and Nihilus began assassinating Jedi, not knowing that that was actually helping Kreia, so she started to plan her revenge on her former two pupils. We then arrive at the video game Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords, where she came across Meetra Surik, a former Jedi general of Revan's in the Mandalorian Wars. After the devastation of Malachor 5 in the Mandalorian Wars, thanks to Meetra Surik and the Mass Shadow Generator, this created a wound in the Force, and Kreia wanted to recreate this using Meetra's natural ability of Force Bonds, basically making a much bigger wound. After the two met, the two then escaped the mining facility Paragus on the Ebon Hawk, and it's during this time that the two had formed a bond with each other. Some more time passes and Kreia manipulates events so that way Meetra will become her new student, although Meetra's allies were very wary of her, due to her ways of getting them to do what she wants. Meetra was on a quest to locate the other Jedi Masters that were in hiding and gather them on Dantooine. Once all the Jedi Masters were located, they believed that Meetra herself was a wound in the Force, so they attempted to strip her of it. Kreia then stepped in and using Force Drain, she kills them all. She then left to go back to Malachor 5, where she was to sacrifice herself to make the wound in the Force much bigger, attempting to kill it, but she waited Meetra to confront her so that way she can provide the answers that she may seek. In the meantime, after Kreia's manipulation, it led Meetra to killing one of her former pupils, Darth Nihilus, and then after this Meetra then travelled to Malachor 5 to face Kreia. Sion was also there with Kreia waiting for Meetra to show up, where Meetra was able to defeat Sion over and over again. She managed to convince him to let go of his pain, allowing him to die. Meetra then found Kreia in the core of the academy, where she gave no choice that only one of them will be leaving this academy alive. Kreia ultimately lost, and before succumbing to her wounds, she used the Force to see the future of the galaxy and proclaimed that her allies are the Lost Jedi, where a new Jedi Order would be built upon. She then sets out a handful of options that the exile could take. Follow Revan into the unknown regions, stay here on Malachor 5 to wait for the others that would be touched by the Force, or return to exile. Kreia then gave herself up to the Force and died. After she chooses to follow Revan, Meetra then leaves the planet, and as she's leaving, the Mass Shadow Generator is activated once again, destroying the whole planet and Kreia's body with it. And that is everything I have on Kreia. Hope it helped.